joined by Council Vice President Debbie Walker. Debbie, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Debbie, before we get started, tell the town a little bit about yourself. You came on when I did, right, in 2012.
Yes, we
ran
together.
It seems like a long time ago, but it seems like only a week ago that we got elected.
It does. It seems like just yesterday that we were walking door to door.
and we came on together. We took over a town that was in a little bit of a trouble.
Yeah, that's what I think got us elected. I think the people knew because they had seen that they were selling land to balance the budget, and that was our big point that we were walking on.
And I want to thank you for all your support over the last 8+ years in turning the town around. You've been a crucial part in helping me do that, and I think we're in a better place today than we were. Even though with all the problems that we're facing, we're in a much better place than we were 8+ years ago when we first came into office.
Oh, absolutely.
So
especially now we have money in the capital budget, which wasn't there before, and we're really fixing the town up.
Okay. Well, the purpose of coming in today, I had Councilwoman Sohar was on already. I had Dave Merwin, Ward 1. Then we had Ward 2, Eric DePalma was on, and now you're the Vice President of the Council. You're on. And the purpose of the show is try to explain to the residents of Old Bridge that the council, the role the council plays, and you have really, there's a ward council and at-large council, which you're an at-large council, the mayor, I'm the executive branch, you're the legislative branch, and how we need to work together in order to operate the town. And so just build upon that a little bit, how important that is, that the council work together and that they work with the administration in order to get things done here in Old Bridge.
Right. As you said, there's a difference between ward and at-large. I represent the whole town, whereas the ward person represents a certain part of the town. Mm-hmm. But that being said, all ward people have to think about the town as a whole, because that's what we're here for, to make the town a better place to live.
You focus, as you said, on the whole town, and you have and the ward people, they focus and they get into the detail of their wards, and they bring it to the attention of the council, and then everybody votes on it. And the ward councils, they vote on every townwide event, also any townwide ordinance. But I think the council at large deal with problems or issues that are township-wide.
Correct.
One of the challenges recently that you played a large part in as a large council at large is finally we're getting the state to budge on the Amboy Road Route 34 intersection, which has been an ongoing issue for I think 40 years. You participated in the meeting we had with the state, and they were going to push it back to 2027. I think that's when I lost it a little bit, and I had to apologize for some of the actions I said. But it looks like they're coming around now. It looks like we're going to get something done within the next year or two. And how important is that? I mean, you live over there, but that's a township-wide. You know, people who maybe live in wards 5 and 6 don't care about an intersection on 34 and Amboy Road, but how important is it for that end of town?
Well, that end of town is extremely important. Anyone that lives in the area uses Amboy Road knows that if you go out to 34, you cannot make a left. It's very difficult to make a left onto 34 coming from Amboy. So a lot of people, what they do now is they'll cut down Disbrow Road, which is a very tiny, narrow, windy road.
Which brought this whole conversation up.
Yes, and we have a lot of accidents at the intersection of Disbrow and Amboy-Lambertson. We've had quite a few fatalities there as well, and major accidents, and a lot of it is because there is no light for people to go out at 34. And I have been campaigning for a light there way before I was elected, along with Councilwoman Sohar. She's been very involved with this for many, many years, because like you said, in that area it is a very, very big issue.
A lot of people from Ward 2 use those streets to get to work. So it's something, hopefully it comes.
I think it's moving in a more positive direction. Like you, when I was on the phone call when they said 2027, I almost passed out, but I believe your letter, and I know some
and
other
focusing
people
to Amboy and 34 as opposed to Morristown and 34, where there's no property acquisitions required.
Yes.
So
it might not be exactly what we want right now, but it will be a little fix, and then maybe we can address the problem at Disbrow in a better way.
Another important role, I think one of the most important roles I know I have as a mayor, is to develop a budget, get a budget together, and then it has to go through the council. You approve that budget, and you've been a big participant in the budget process. And we've seen the results of bad budgeting before we came on. And then when we took over, we changed the whole process. Where the council now, and even the public, our budget workshop meetings are open. We go through every line, every dollar is accounted for, and the council nods their head yes or nods their head no. And I'm pleased to say over the last 8 budgets, we've been very successful. This year's budget is going to be a little bit more challenging, not as challenging as the first 2 we had coming out, but this one is going to be a little bit more different. So just your role, and what do you think about the budget process and how it takes place here in Old Bridge?
I love the way it's been changed since we took office. It's so open now with the budget subcommittee meetings, open to the public, every council person, whether you're on that particular committee for that budget, you can come, and I come to every single one. I don't miss one, because I think that you should know line item by line item what everything is. And I think by the time it's to vote for the budget, we're very well informed. If you have any issues, you could take them up at the budget subcommittee meeting, and then it's no big surprise when the budget's passed. And like you said, the town is in such a great shape right now. And I just want people at home to know that when they get their tax bill, though, it's broken down where the town collects all the money, like from the Board of Ed, the fire districts, and now we
County,
we only get 19 cents on a dollar. That's all we get. But we have to give, like in this pandemic, a lot of people, maybe some people aren't paying their taxes, but the town is still responsible to give that percentage to the other entities. Right. So we take the hit, and people are complaining about their taxes a lot, but I want to tell them, you know, I think you should go to the Board of Ed meetings and focus on that, because that's where your taxes are coming from.
Everywhere I go, I say the same thing. Please, you know, if you're really concerned about your taxes, your property taxes, you really need to go to those meetings. I don't think anyone has ever gone to a county freeholder meeting. Very few people go to the Board of Education meeting and complain about their, you know, the cost. I mean, school education is probably the most important thing we can do in our lives, is educate our youngsters, but it must be done in a fiscally responsible way, and that's where the public needs to have their input. I know I served on the Board of Ed for 3 years, and I loved it. It was one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had, since being the mayor, of course. But you know, and again, you know, having the budget process the way we have it now with the subcommittees, it gives the council an opportunity to either add stuff, remove stuff, whereas in the past it would come to the vote on the budget and it was just no or yes. And so and that's made a big difference, I think, with the council.
Yes, absolutely, because you could be as informed as you want and go to every meeting, which I think is very important. This way, you know, when you vote on it, you're well informed.
And if you want to add something to the budget,
exactly.
You're open. And if you want to cut
you
something,
question something in it, why this much money? Why is this being taken away? Because you could see the percentages of it's the same or less or more than the previous year.
And that's leading me into my next. As we go through the budget, I think one of the most important roles I play as a mayor, and you as a council, is to make sure public safety is adequately funded. Old Bridge, as we know, is a very large town. We both want our response times to be consistent. We don't want it to get out of hand where when you call and ask for help, we're delayed. So we need to increase, as we said, we've put a lot of police officers on over the last 8 years. So public safety, the finances of the town, how important that is that if the town can't take care of itself or can't pay its own bills, we're of no use to the public. And I think that's what we took over, where a town that couldn't make payroll isn't going to be able to make capital improvements, as you mentioned. Programs that we run in town are very important, especially for our youth, you know, our parks, seniors, the whole gamut of all our residents. They're very important. And, you know, finally, the services that we provide with that small 19 cents, when people realize what they get for that 19 cents, it's a great value. If you can build upon all those, and if you have any other, you know, priorities as far as we go through this new budget process coming up, but how important are those functions as far as budgeting is concerned?
I think it's very important that we give something back to the residents, and especially in the youth programs and things like that. I think it's very important for the public to give back to them. They want to see something for their tax dollars. And the investing, as you said, with the capital projects, we've invested countless millions of dollars back into the community, right back into the taxpayers. And I think it's obvious by the strong housing market here in Old Bridge, that it's a good investment. Oh yeah, we've been paving roads, doing curbing, drainage projects, and like you know, we also voted the 15th safest state in America.
Public safety
as well.
And the state recognizes Old Bridge, and I think all our outside independent auditing says the township is well run, well managed. Some of the comments by Moody's, that's why our bond rating is so good. Recently, we just put out ribbons for financing and received. I never thought we'd get such a low rate, 0.4, 0.04.
Yes, we just heard that.
That's unheard of. So things are going well.
I'm very proud of the direction that we've taken the town.
Good, and I think that's the purpose of the show, that everybody works together and accomplishing the same, regardless of your political affiliation.
You should leave that at the door. It should all be about what's best for the residents. We all live here.
I can't do it alone, and you as a council can't do it alone either. We have to work together.
Yeah, it's not about political parties.
Right. Well, Debbie, have any closing statements to make? I know you've been a big help. Any plans for the next 3+ years? Any ideas you want to focus on? I know the light on Amboy Road is a major concern, but anything else that you're looking at?
Well,
work
you know,
with
we
us
are
on?
working on getting pickleball only courts
There you go.
in
Another
Menino Park.
provide
It's
more
a,
services,
I don't want to
programs?
say senior residents like really enjoy pickleball, and this is something for them to do. I know with the pandemic though, right now things
Yeah,
are
things have
kind of
changed,
put
but
on hold a little
We're
bit
gonna
right
get through
now.
this.
But the light is a very big focus for me right now. But if anybody ever has any concerns, they can always reach out to me with any, which they do, and they email or call me, and I get right on it.
Yeah, you get the 4 o'clock in the morning calls?
Yes, and emails.
Well, that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I want to thank Councilwoman Walker for being with me here today. So thank you. And please, if you have any questions, please contact me, or you can contact Debbie. Go to our website and you'll have our contact information. Thank you, everyone.